We'll call the work session to order. Can I get a roll call, Marcy?
Sure. Jerry,
Here.
Justin,
Here.
Lexi, Brian.
Here. Absent is John. Start with the number 14 meeting. Any questions or comments going through that at this point?
There's not much on the 28th, but obviously that'll fill up, I'm sure.
Review county multi-jurisdictional local hazard mitigation plan.
It will require counties are
The mouth.
to put together the worst case scenario, what would happen.
Okay.
So this is something I think they do, at least in Illinois, they did it every 3 to 5 years. I'm assuming that Iowa is the same.
We just review it and endorse it.
Correct.
Okay.
And Mike has already done his review of it and it gets his stamp of approval. So that that will be for your approval on Tuesday.
Any other items on the frame? Our department head representation. Only one.
I guess obviously we're talking about Eagle Simulator, we'll start there. It is approximately, I said here 4 weeks yet on my update. It should be close. I'm hoping it's sooner than that, but we're closer than we've been, so that's good. The room itself, flooring is almost done, just have to do the trim and then it's ready to rock and roll. Not ready to rock and roll. I do need to figure out internet. There was no internet in the room during the course of the remodel, so I have to figure out how to get internet to the room. I thought we could use the access point that is 2 rooms down, that we have in the fitness rooms, but with the wonderful material the walls are made out of, I got nothing. So I went in with my phone and I don't have reception, I don't get Wi-Fi, I don't get anything. So I will have to figure out how to get internet to the room. So those are my hurdles yet, but we'll figure those out. They'll be easy enough.
Like the Ethernet or something rather than trying to Wi-Fi.
Well, so Ethernet, again, it's gonna be running where we have to run it from. Kind of talking to John a little this morning, because he was talking about how they had to run the internet somewhere. He was thinking that's possible that he can grab from City Hall and just go down when they run it, so they don't have to run the entire course of the building. And so I'm gonna talk to them and see if that is something that can truly happen. And go from there. So yeah.
I mean, people are gonna want to use their Wi-Fi and go
They're shot.
It wouldn't be, I mean, obviously, this doesn't go very far, so not many people would be using that access point if it was in the room, but yeah, we'll figure it out one way or another.
Cool.
I mean, most of my update is mostly remodel stuff, obviously everything coming along, waiting for a lot of the stuff that we purchased to just get here and get installed. One of the other things that I don't have on the update, our health inspector came this week to do an inspection, 2 weeks ago, to do an inspection down at the concession stand, which was closed, but she still did the inspection. And then she came up and did the PCC's inspection. Everything is good, everything passed with flying colors. One of the things we do have to get into a policy is it's like norovirus policy. So it will be something that I'll bring off to technically get passed through council to make an official policy. But essentially it's just how we clean up biohazards, how we clean up your blood.
Using boilerplate stuff out there.
I already have it. I just need to finish dotting my i's, cross my t's, and then it'll be to you guys. So whether that's Tuesday or the following Tuesday, she doesn't technically come back for, I think she said actually we're on the plan to do every 5 years, so it's nothing that happens.
You don't have to submit it to her.
No, it's just that she presented it to us. We have to put it in action, so however long it takes us. But like I said, we already have the stuff for there's some PPE that we needed to follow the policies. We already have that all done. So it's just the policy. It's just getting that approved and then getting the staff to sign essentially once that time is done. So not a lot left to do. I will have that to you guys at some point.
So on the Norway thing, that it's just your procedures for cleaning will have to change too.
Correct.
It's a new procedure of some sort.
It's just more, like I said, it's keeping it up, like,
Yeah.
I mean, there's talk, it's crazy, I think, maybe it's not crazy, but I find it, but it goes into gown, mask. Gloves, she doesn't have it all in order to watch.
Is it Sherry to say what is that again?
Sure.
She's awesome.
She is awesome. We had a good conversation, but yeah, so.
Just a quick note also, just so you're aware, I don't have your update information out there because I always do it on the first council meeting.
Okay.
So they don't have
I
that.
can see.
I pulled it up behind you. She started talking about it, but so you can go over it all again on Tuesday, or when you guys see it on Tuesday, you can ask questions, but yeah. Sorry,
Once you have that policy, you give it to me, then I can go ahead and put it into a resolution.
sorry, you being here at work sessions is newer, so if you prefer, I can put the updates on the work sessions going forward.
It just allows for discussion.
Yeah.
Okay,
You know, if we've got questions or if
Okay.
we want to talk.
so keep it on the first meeting.
Just, yeah, just.
Okay.
Just kind of be able to have a back and forth without it being just, you know, here's my update, which we get, which I know a lot of it is gonna be, you know, duplicated, but just the idea is to be able to have a back and forth.
Yeah, and I can put them on both meetings too, so that way you guys have access.
The other thing we have is our girl volleyball needs, our all three of them started, so great attendance again, great amount of teams. So far, day one for all of them, went well, everything stayed on track, on schedule, that's where I'm going for, so far so good.
Thanks. Next up, we have, car wash on $22 residences. And then Father and Dan are here. To discuss. Okay, go ahead. Why don't you give us a little.
I'm selling a lot, so. It's up to you to get the approval.
Yeah, and I know we, weren't able to have, pending zoning, so we don't have a recommendation.
We do,
We do have it from August. Oh,
from August.
So my plan is to have a 2 automatic touchless bays. They'll be side by side, in conjunction, possible laundry, pet wash, both on the end. That's all up for discussion and debate. So I guess I'm sure you guys have a lot of questions for me more than anything. I'll answer them as best as my ability.
I think, you know, probably the first question or issue for us is the stop zoning. And we try and stay away from that as much as we can. And obviously this is zoned for that. That area comes into this type of business, so that's probably the biggest hurdle for us. And that's got nothing to do with you or what you're asking.
Okay.
It's just with that business as a whole is not zoned for that. So
I understand.
and that's always our first stumbling block, and it's a big one.
Yeah.
So I think we would have to get past that before we, you know, get into the details. These pictures are your current, this is your, or this is just an example of what you have.
Okay. Yep, that's what our site matters.
Okay.
So this one would obviously be smaller than that. You're talking 2 bays. It's
Correct.
Pet wash.
Correct.
Did you look at, I know this is Slavic's property, but did you look at any of the areas where we're zone C2 and talk to the developers that have those properties? How long have you been looking at Piasta as a place to do this?
Oh, I guess that was what, June, I think. Originally started looking at it.
We do, Joel Callahan.
Joel.
So again, I think that's our biggest issue here. I don't think anyone's opposed to having a car wash in the area. we've got only one right now. And, I don't think another one's gonna hurt. It's just that we do some spot zoning, car wash. I don't know what the next non-C1 zone business. And again, we appreciate you two trying to work something out, because Slavic, we've been asking you to.
Doing business.
Bring one on you.
I'm gonna say it before you say it, but yeah, and I fully understand.
And that is not like that, car was gonna be like, in residential, close house, something, I guess. It's completely machine houses and far away from any residential, so,
And it's on the highway side.
and it's on highway side too, yeah.
What, is it possible for us to look at adding car wash to one?
Sure.
That's totally up to planning and zoning.
Okay, I mean. I think that's a pretty ideal location for a car wash. It's the opposite side of town. We have one and another one. It's not like flashy full lights, not very, sounds like those new ones. Know what I'm talking about. But you know what I mean, as far as like residential,
No, I-
like looking out my window and seeing like a rain, like big light display, it's not like one of those kinds of car washes.
And like you said, you wanted maybe to limit the hours or something.
Yeah, on that, that's, the next step is, what kind of hours do you run in Dyersville?
24/7, unless it's broke down or extremely cold.
What kind of traffic do you see after 7 o'clock?
What time of the year?
Anything, I guess, I know during the summer, it's just,
Yeah, summer's more, yeah. Once you get the winter time,
By now.
No, because people are
They're
out
outside.
and their kids are not in school and.
you get in the winter, you get past 5:30 and it starts dead, It's dark, cold, nobody wants to do anything.
How long would it take you to put a project like that in place? I mean, it would be,
To be up and running,
yeah, if it was approved, from the time it was approved or something.
I would hope to be midsummer of next year.
If you started building,
We were to start building as soon as possible.
Pretty much just slab on grade cement, right?
More or less, yeah.
Yeah.
and that's a lot to the.
Next
West,
one.
Jumbo.
That's the jumbo.
West.
If you're looking, if you're standing on Thunder Valley to the right side.
Yeah, this would be completely self-serve, right? This isn't the one that has people in it to guide you through,
Right.
cleans cars.
So,
And then you just have like somebody who maintained it.
yep, there was somebody to look after it.
And, you can text Slavic and he'll come dry your car after.
or-
Yeah.
I'll jump on, I'll order my coffee and we'll go to the car wash and when we're done, want to be ready.
There you go. There you go. We'll work the deal.
This one, yeah.
Well, here's Jumbo, it's this one.
So it's between that and the little strip.
Yeah, so there's would be an open lot and then there's a strip. So it could be, physical. Fair enough.
Oh, it's on highway side.
Yeah,
Why basically gonna block any residential?
which way would you see putting it on there, Dan? I guess, what's the vision as it's kind of a trapezoid there? Is it gonna be more like you're gonna have like right in here this way, so kind of
Right.
get
They
in and out?
can pull in and come around, the exit side would be on the northeast there.
Okay, so over here,
Yeah.
gonna. So you have like two drives, there'll be a drive and a drive.
Depends what I'm allowed to have, I guess.
I guess if you could have whatever you wanted, what would it be?
Oh, 2 drives would be ideal.
Okay.
And then-
I like the idea of that kind of not. totally
Yeah,
traveling.
yeah,
And
exactly.
especially because this has got that little jog there.
Right.
Uh,
And where's the new, sister Is that one? That one?
Here.
And then it's.
This is five.
and that's- So those two are.
No, no, 5 is,
5 is this one?
yes.
So
Okay,
that
and then
one's-
this one is
so it's five.
Jeff's. Yeah, Jeff.
basically-
Yeah.
All of them on there.
Thoughts on
That's next time, right?
moving forward, either
Next week, right?
or denying and.
They've already recommended that
Because of spots.
because of the spots.
I don't really understand why we don't. I mean, I guess,
With the C one.
They're both still commercial zoning. One is a higher level of intensity. That's why you have the different levels. C1 is much more,
Retailish,
yeah,
you
it's
say?
right. And then the C2 is a little bit heavy, yeah, heavier traffic.
Yeah, but there's not gonna be heavy traffic, it's gonna kind of run through the way. And that's gonna cause the jumbo,
what does?
jumbo gonna have more
What-
traffic.
On Sunday,
Yeah, it's not on Thunder Valley.
Yeah, so,
What does Jumbo and, Dartford fall under currently? C1?
C1. Everything along Thunder Valley Drive is C1.
Yeah. Well,
I'm told it's large enough, Maine's large.
yeah, I mean, just what do you mean?
I like 4, 2 automatics, 4 inch, you say 4 inch.
Yeah, but I'm running 2, 3-inch pipe for apartments.
Yeah.
So. I mean, we could get away with farm, but didn't want us to have 2, 3-inch. So, I'm. Think you ask, I do. And then I ask, they say, it's not.
I think we're trying to get these lots sold or not, in the apartments. Seems like this is
good alternate.
another, at least another lot sold. More business, more traffic over there.
Another amenity on that side of the town.
That's, yeah, because now you have
I mean-
19 miles around the other side of town. Go to that car wash.
We,
I won't stop.
Gallon usage are you thinking?
Per what? Day, or what do you ask? Yes.
What would be your monthly average?
Probably. Monthly average, probably gonna be 10,000. So. If they're high.
It's good, both for safety, but what the.
Always looking.
This is my plan.
I appreciate that.
I like the idea of a project, I like the idea of selling the real estate for commercial development. Not a big fan of the spot zoning, because then I don't think we have as much of a leg to stand on with people bringing us other things that don't quite fit. So we should maybe have the zone where we can include it in the zoning category or not, is maybe the discussion. I guess another consideration I've got, I really like the way those buildings and those businesses are looking along that corridor. They're dressy, they're kind of high-end commercial feel. This isn't high-end commercial feel. It's more, I don't know what to say. So I don't know, if that would also be a consideration, like how can we make it kind of fit decor wise into the feeling, the milieu that we have on that strip.
I realize that that's a generic drawing, just,
Yeah.
you know, but, once we would proceed forward. I realize that it needs to fit in that area, and so we dress that up and make it fit.
Yeah.
It's not just gonna be a bare.
8-inch flat wall.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's, that would be great from an environment standpoint.
Yeah.
No neon orange,
It's just.
no neon orange or anything.
Cement cinder block and.
Yes.
That's your block.
Yeah, we could work with all that.
Just, so the feeling I'm getting is general, not a consensus is rather possibly add this to our C1 as opposed to doing spot zoning to try and proceed, because it sounds like we'd like to try and proceed. And what's the best avenue to do that? Is my question.
I think we just asked you, planning and zoning to revisit the usage. And we just, that's the way that we want to do that. Oh, to make sure it can service it. No, to change all the allowable uses. Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Because we'll have to have a public hearing for that.
And from your time frame, you don't need a decision by January 1st or
No,
not.
it's required.
So we have a little more time to kind of work through that part of the project.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
It gives them public input. It gives the public a chance to speak to, listen to them.
Yeah. Okay, so.
We're planning on having a planning and zoning Monday. We didn't have a quorum this past Monday.
Sorry, it's comedy night here, folks.
Can you add those to the meeting?
Can we have you at that meeting?
Yeah, no, I mean, add.
Yeah, I can add that to it. Yeah, that's right. We're planning on having a meeting Monday, so we still have tomorrow to add it to the agenda within that time. Pardon me?
I can come to the meeting.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. So, okay, well, it sounds like we kind of have a plan then, and we kind of throw it at them to have the discussion about changing them.
And it'll be in that same room we met before, 200G.
And
and
it
11.
Yeah, I wonder because
Oh, Tonight, for tonight.
yeah, well, I don't really council meeting, like, what you doing here? Oh, looking for council.
And yeah, at this point, we don't give them any direction as far as what we're looking for.
Right, it's totally up them to review it and then make the decision if they
Yeah,
want
so
to.
that's what we'd like them to do, though, review whether putting that into C1 on spa. And
I mean, then the question is, how many C1 properties do you have in town? Because it's not too many, right? And if there's commercial, car wash, I think that it's nice look, both of them C1, why not? If you move this car wash, C1.
you know, they want to put up a control box and say, what else do we want to move to C1?
Oh, definitely.
Maybe have your look too, what you think about the design.
Yeah, I think that'd be something I would.
At least for public hearing.
Yeah, I agree.
You look like you already do that. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that in your eyes.
Yep. Have you ever built one with different materials?
No, I have not built. Everything I have has been, very there.
Okay. You know, Dan Wolf just built one in Galena. He used a RBS building system. Ever heard of that?
I'm aware of it.
I just saw it yesterday. Coming from Chicago, so, yeah, looks nice, and actually, that kind of type of stuff. I like it better than they have it. Nice big closet.
Yeah,
Building itself, all kind of stuff.
Right. They're pretty particular in doing it too.
Yeah,
I was right next to Walmart, and it's, they make them come to all kinds of.
It's like making up.
Let's just start.
Maybe for you. Let's see, Claudia talked to a little bit.
Right, pro development, we just want something the community can really resonate with. Sure.
All right, sounds good. All right, thanks.
So you talk about the planning zoning, that's the design.
Yes.
Yeah. Some of their some ideas on.
Because I already told, so Joe, you know, like, oh, my car was, it's gonna be more like.
Sounds like coffee.
Yeah, I mean,
Bring them guys in.
That would be a good idea.
That's the time.
Bring up this, I know. Yes, I
Well, I, you know, like a longer renewals, you know, actually, you're like.
Anybody on that street, that other business that was in and say, yeah, we got.
There's more traffic.
We would love to see that. It just makes it that much easier to go, hey, that would be helpful. Yeah, the other businesses aren't supposed to, when the city, or citizens see that. Yeah, and that, I think we go along with, when we get to that. All right.
I'll test the He was already looking to build another black bar again. I told him to not call me. I told him to not call me when I built his jumbo. He made me to.
Maybe two.
And yeah, really, he was like, I mean, when he showed me his estimate, I was like, are you kidding me? I mean, they just ripping it off, you know. I say it was a lot of money, you know.
All right, we are going to.
Okay, all right. Have a good
Thanks,
night,
Dan.
guys.
Nice to meet you, Dan. Thank you.
On to the potential project at Palmer Lagoon site. And I will, Mr. Studo this week, that he has a prospect of a current company in Piasta looking to purchase some of the property at the lagoon site to build a building. I believe from my discussion, it wouldn't be an additional building. I believe that's what they would use there. Manufacturing.
Like to expand it.
They're growing, bigger building. So they would,
one.
yeah, so they would move out from their building and then rebuild it. Yeah, so, he asked if we would come up with what the city could offer in terms of incentives. So I reached out to Annette and asked her to put these numbers together, based on tips if you want for us to offer. I don't want to lose a business. Obviously, I don't think any of us want that.
Right.
We're scrambling to try and bring other businesses to town, so I don't know how big of an incentive is big enough, but he estimated about 150 employees. He did not have an exact number.
Additional.
No, he currently he thought they currently were about 150.
Because don't our TIF guidelines have, some expansion requirements, like we're adding new jobs, we're adding dollar value of.
Yeah, and because at this time, AJ is the only one who approached me and, he wants to, play close to the vest a little bit here and
Yeah.
he did not share who it was. I'm only assuming it's one of the businesses already on Cap Drive. In my brain, it's, is it Propulse, is it, Premier, is it Bodine, all seem to fit that prototype that he's talking about, so. So this is the discussion we're gonna have, and I'm gonna get a hold of AJ tomorrow, I'm just letting him know if we kind of come up with any ideas. Because outside of the tip, we don't really have a lot of other things that we can offer the company. So.
What's he looking for, to say?
He didn't know. He just thinks that it would be good for the city to step up to those companies in town.
So then when we put the pipe in, you can't jump the gun and put the pipe in there.
He did a lot of work on the property. He still brought that up. That, hey, the city's gonna help out with any of that work that he had to do to make it a viable property. And that was a different discussion and. We kind of started on, not really that much on it, but I think it was a true start of the session. We did the lift station. Recently, we're doing.
Yes, and the initial discussion was that, this was maybe before a couple of you were on the council, that it had to be one or the other. We couldn't do both. So the decision looks like it was made that he wanted to do the lift station, and we said, we could share the costs in that. Now, this is something totally different. Obviously, he's going to be selling the land. This person's going to be putting up the building. So I just would like to know a little bit more about it. I mean, it's just speculative. I mean, I just threw a $40 million valuation in there just to get to the numbers I got. So I can easily, as soon as I have a better idea.
Based on roughly 300,000 square feet. And we didn't really know, he, as I'm asking him for information, he just kind of going off the cuff with what.
Wouldn't this be the kind of thing that could ask the Piasta Economic Development Group to work up for us as a proposal? I mean,
Oh, my eyes really big right
Yeah,
now.
they are.
Because I'm excited.
but I'm just like, we don't have any information about what's being proposed. Like, you know, and they need to keep them confidential, but.
Is there anything they can do to help them get the business there?
Yeah.
I mean, they
And
could
then
reach
see
out to
what does the
AJ.
business really need and what are they trying to accomplish and how big do they need to expand and, I mean, it could parlay into something. I don't know.
Does it come down to money though, right? Then what could they do if it just came down to money?
Yeah, that's the law.
Right.
So.
Probably is.
Pretty key factor.
I mean, honestly, I just had a better feel on the size of the building and, you know, then I could do some estimates on per square foot. But again, that's just kind of really loosey goosey right now. And
So this, whoever it is planning on leaving, vacating their current spot and
They
moving
allow
to
for
this new
it,
spot.
yeah.
Correct.
So if it's already in Piasta
Okay.
and they don't have room to grow in Piasta, because then say they're not gonna get what they want, then we risk that they leave.
Right.
Or potentially,
You want
it's
to
a new
address
one
it.
that's not in Piasta. And we gain, but
We already said it was.
it was
He-
Piasta.
Yeah, he said it is a Piasta company.
We've lost a couple of businesses before. Well, that was just,
Right.
We couldn't get them to expand.
We didn't have the space.
So he's got the land, so he's willing to, and they would be putting up the building. It's not gonna be.
So it's not gonna be a,
It's not gonna be an AJ.
So he's gonna sell them and then this is gonna be their deal.
Yeah, this tip would be whatever the business is, right?
Correct,
There
yeah.
wouldn't be.
So he's saying, this, I'll sell you this land and this is the estimate of what the city will. get.
I think that's what he's looking to put the proposal together.
and you really can't say, I'm gonna give you 50% or I'm gonna give you 75 or
Right.
85% because like, you don't know what the business is.
We, that's what I mean, we don't
There's
know
too
what
many
it's
unknowns.
generating.
Yeah,
what are they generating back?
I mean, I like the idea of somebody expanding in Piasta, that's good. And it opened a space for another company to come in.
With an existing building.
Right, with an existing operational kind of building.
and the
That's all.
tip is really, there's what they call a but-for clause. This project would not happen if it were not for TIF. So I mean, it's an incentive. We want to be able to use it as that. We don't want to just keep giving away 85%, because it gets a little expensive for us. But I understand we want to keep the employment here. We want the employment to increase. Obviously, if they're a water user, we want to be able to provide them with them. Correct. But again, there's just too
But
many
if it is,
variables.
if the business is growing, it's gonna generate revenue line and jobs and some of those other things.
And
That's pretty
ancillary
easy to
dollars,
argue,
yeah.
And
but
potentially whatever building they're in can be.
we can.
They
parlay it
can
into
sell
our
it and
project.
they can bring in another.
Do we have anything that we did for like AY, or any of those that we kind of tried to do to get them out here?
Well, that was more like the state level. There's a lot of state incentives. We gave it, we were prepared to get AY 100%.
Right,
So can we just tell them, Jay, we're interested in TIF?
Right, very.
What we- but we don't know what-
Something if we do more,
we're motivated to keep the business in town. It's growing.
You know, and I can approach it, and this is possible to have a sit down with him and whoever it is.
I don't know if TIF is what they're gonna want, right? 'Cause that's gonna go to business. That's gonna be what they purchase.
I don't think he was looking for it for him.
I think he's looking for tip for that and the SRF funds for the
Some
city.
kind of compensation.
But he's still, he's looking for something for the land.
For him.
Because, yeah, he's out $5 million, $15 something like this. I don't know. As far as getting the land, even sell it. So the free land we gave is costing $5. So I'm just giving you the way it was phrased to me.
Yeah.
So. All right, well, let me see what I can do with him tomorrow. I don't know call that, I'm sorry. One of the youth construction. It doesn't sound like we have a really good solid, hey, we can do this. We have options, so we need
We
more
want to
information, how to figure out what those options are.
Yeah, because I think he's looking for a hard dollar number and we can't do that.
I mean, we set up them regulations for a reason,
Yeah.
so
You gotta share the guideline. and what's it look like.
you gotta fit in that guideline.
Because I asked him, he doesn't have information.
Yeah, I imagine he doesn't know what they
Yeah.
plan on building.
What, are they gonna add, yeah, they're gonna add 20 jobs, they're gonna add 50 jobs, or they're gonna, in the next 10 years, and they could.
Come
More
and talk to
questions
They
that.
can come and talk to us and we can work on the project.
Happy to.
Or DEDC.
Uh-huh.
We need more.
That's what I mean. And if the company wants to keep it confidential, they could work it up.
They were all willing to sign like.
NDA.
NDAs.
As long as we don't lose it.
Right.
Talking to the city,
Yeah,
it's public fast, you know, so.
We did some stuff at fair.
We need Brian.
Oh, they were the land, but I'm not sure.
Brian. Oh,
Oh,
no, Brian at, Premier.
yeah.
So,
That's.
yeah,
Oh, they have to, you know, first side.
I mean, we can't really have a discussion in an open meeting with the business, but you could have a private discussion with the business to understand more about what they're looking for.
Sure, I mean, we could bring in PEDC as well.
right, yeah, I like,
That'd be good.
yeah.
I'm just thinking that's where that should sit, something that's potentially this big, okay, here's a really good project.
Mhm.
Work on it.
Well, that's the direction I'll be, in this. If you would like to. get forward. But that's all that, to get a. Next up, ordinance amending the title that's physical environment chapter for utilities, refuge.
The reason that we're bringing this before you is, we have 2 pickups every year for bulk pickups. And we witnessed a few people hauling stuff in from out of town. And we just can't have that. It costs us money. And so we wanted to put a little bit tighter restrictions on this to kind of give them examples of what we will take and not from other communities or other businesses. So
They
again,
put it when they haul it from out of town, they've got some other property.
In your front yard. They have a property. Yeah, so they have a property in town, but they had their whole front yard full and.
Yeah.
We had somebody witness him taking stuff out of the back of his truck and putting it in his front yard.
Yeah,
and then trailers throughout the day just appearing with more stuff on it.
I had a complaint from 2 citizens about one of the properties on one of our major roads that was evidently full.
Same place.
We're talking about.
Oh, it's all the same place. Well, he has 4 storage sheds.
I saw somebody unloading the storage shed and pulling it up to the. front.
And that was part of where some of that stuff was coming from, and as well as outside of Piazza.
That seems like
Yeah,
the use.
that'd be home business that they're running out of there.
Yeah, it was a lot of.
I like the idea of
He does a lot of
structuring,
his truck, that's what he said.
like the idea of structuring.
On his property? Part of his home?
So anyway, that's the
Okay.
reason for the revision.
Your question,
All in favor of. Taking that out.
clarifying what it's for.
Pat Callahan, just that we did the goal setting report on a quarterly basis, and just quarterly to TV. We will do that.
Did we ever publish something like our final?
We have
piece?
not, this is the final.
Okay, because I feel like we're evaluating something, I'm not sure if we published everybody.
Right, this is why we're looking at it now. We can tweak it through the first review, and then make it a public living document. And then he has suggested a second, third, or fourth review. Just to see, as we get through the next budget process, if we can see that, gosh, we're gonna have to maybe tighten things up a little bit and change some of those goals, then kind of keeps us on the right track.
Mhm. We've made progress.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
We have made progress.
I don't think there's really anything on there that is outside the realm of not being achievable.
Other than the one the movie is setback and I see, we need to establish some sort of contact there with their change in leadership.
Well,
And again, the gentleman who took over,
mhm.
I know was in our meeting,
Right.
so.
I did reach out to Dave Doms and
Okay.
said, knowing, with the leadership change, that I haven't heard back from him yet. But we're not gonna be able to, yeah, I don't think we're gonna be able to present on is it the 20th, Brian, you said?
It's Monday, so that's, yeah, it's Thursday, 2 weeks from Monday.
Okay.
Yeah, they haven't, the existing president is still on administrative leave. They haven't closed that process out yet. I would think the board of trustees is pretty busy right now.
I don't think that they're not interested, I just think they have a lot on their plate
Just
right
like
now.
the-
Yeah, no, I agree, I just want to make sure that.
It's not at the top of the.
The discussions we had have been very positive,
Mhm.
Yep.
and mostly that was through the.
Yeah.
And I definitely think that those conversations will continue to be positive, it's just they need to get leadership in place.
Dave Downs is the CFO and he was in that last meeting.
He's been in every
as
meeting.
well, so he's first on.
So he's aware that it's not that.
Right.
Purple setting future annexation for a priority, but the consequence of the annexation is north of the common stuff.
That would be
Tell
Jane
me where that is
Edwards.
again.
Conlon property is right there on Thunder Hills Road, going east to Cottingham.
East side of
Yeah.
Thunder.
Okay, that
Just
whole,
field, right?
We kind of
It's
stuff
not there.
over.
how many acres is that?
144,
Something.
but north of that is Jane Edwards property, and then north of that is Thunder Hills, and then north of that is
How much
Thunder
is
Ridge.
James property now? Edwards?
I'm gonna say it's probably right under
Pretty close.
145, yeah.
Not me.
Have you talked to her?
It's in process. It's
Did
Jim
you talk
Con-
to?
no, Jim Conlon has talked to her. He tried to buy her property. She said she did not want to sell it. I think she's open to the annexation, but
That's what I'm wrong.
yes, and I mean, if she doesn't want to annex all the property, I believe that we can still get what they call a string, so that we can tie the Conlon property to,
Beyond her.
right, and then as long as we have string, so we can like run water main. And then have that touch Thunder Hills.
40 next on the roadside there.
Mhm.
She's well. I think we need to.
That would be my preference as well.
Oh,
No, we're not
but she
there.
doesn't want to sell it anyway. She,
She wants
it's
to.
just conversation to annex that, her property that she owns.
And she'll have some property tax savings as well.
By getting in.
The ag land is cheaper in Piasta than it is Dubuque County. So I can run the numbers for her on that.
Which was potentially.
We'll set up a meeting for, please have a discussion.
Is there anything, any movement or anything happening with the Conlon farm property?
As far as.
That was a Doug. This happened, that. What we
Is he around?
Good question.
What do you
Yeah.
want to get it to?
Hey, when he's not around, it's not costing us money, how about that?
Well, every week I send him an update asking him where
Well.
a lot of documents are at, because it's getting beyond ridiculous with this annexation. And talked to him yesterday. He said that, I said, where are we with this, this and this? And he said, well, my afternoon is free. I'll have it to you by tomorrow. I'll have it. And I did have a heart to heart with him, and I said, you really need to spend more time on Piasta. And he understands that, but it's not helping.
The value that Doug brings with his background with, city. administration. Yeah. So.
And they have a lot of young associates at Lynch Dallas, and those associates are going to him for advice. And, since he has 16 years of municipal background,
He can put some of them on some of our projects.
he already has.
Yeah.
But they're
And then
asking
they
a
left.
question.
This first, and this second.
Has there been an idea too, what's all there with them?
Mhm. At this point, I'm holding payment until I get some documents.
Pay for outcomes.
Does it behoove us at this point to just do a search for a new?
That's totally up to you.
I believe it would be valuable to have that information for us if we need to make a move, because what you guys don't know is this has been ongoing for
A year.
You know, and then I talk about this almost every month. About how
Every
much
week.
is-
The work
Yeah.
is the work.
How much is not getting done, how much is not, how much,
He's
he's busy, you get that.
Yeah.
It's Fred, it is 100% right. I would love, and I've gone as far as even thinking about, hey, when I first started, what did I say? I want him at every meeting. It seemed like when he was at every meeting, we got our stuff taken care of.
Sure.
No, I don't want to pay for him to be at every meeting and to do all that work, but,
Well, we've taken on a lot of the work ourselves.
Yeah.
So,
well, you know, we need representation, we need, quick responses, when we have questions.
Do we just pay for it?
We're also, we gotta remember that we are using them at the moment.
pardon me?
Yeah.
That we're already using them and other
Yep,
stuff.
yep, got it.
But new business could go.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Usually wraps that up.
yeah.
So like, you would like annexation over.
So you've had this issue with Honecker?
No, they just issue with hearing.
Okay.
So you took
Yeah.
certain parts of content work and you have somebody else.
I would be opposed to that, like, let him handle the bigger stuff and then some
Yeah,
littler annexation, stuff like that, that.
Within the firm?
No.
I think we're just, well, anybody who.
Yeah, anybody that,
Anybody who can
that gets done.
Well, he offered that, he asked me to go back to law school so I could help him.
CJ, man.
Yeah, that's.
Might be cheaper.
Short one.
Well, I told him in 6 years when I retire, I'd be more than happy to go back to school.
No,
I don't know, we pay for our legal service, just time and materials,
Mhm.
because an option would be to try to negotiate a retainer of some sort, put him on a chunk of hours, you know? Like,
I don't think it'd help.
okay, well, you'd have to prioritize to have other work that he's doing, you know, you're replacing a body of work, but you're putting a chunk of work.
Those hours.
And they're not necessarily
Product.
I like the idea of maybe start pounding out some of the
More
smaller.
benign things, things that are standard, boilerplate kind of stuff.
Do that. Moving on. Permit. Late fee.
This, if you open up that attachment, can you bring it up, Marcy? This is another example of our new written ordinances, the way they're written. There's an investigation fee, and that investigation fee is a fee that's paid if you don't pull a permit, you do the work. It's usually doubled by the cost of the permit. We've had a few, to say the least, have done this. In most cases, and it's not residential, it's actual contractors
This should help.
that know better. You know, it's okay. I mean, we understand the occasional residential person comes in, they don't know they need a permit for a water heater replacement. But it's just
I don't know. I have a new one.
Are you, did you just get a new water?
No, but I just, that's.
I didn't know either, Lexi. Well, I think it's one thing to show grace to somebody who says, oh, I didn't know I need a permit for a
Correct.
fence or putting a roof on or something, but then when we haven't, you know, we have people calling saying, I need to get my CO, my certificate of occupancy. And we say, well, we don't even have a plumbing permit for you, and they're ready to close on their mortgage tomorrow. Then that means we have to get the contractor to fill out the application, get it paid, and then makes us get to Craig, and like, we have to like scramble in our office because they didn't do their job. And we brought this up at a previous meeting, and y'all wanted to like, let's talk about it at a work session. So we did a little more digging into the ordinance. So we did a little more digging into the ordinance, and it says we actually already do have a fee out there. It's not something we've enforced.
so we would have to put that on the fee resolution and bring it back to you. Hopefully, if you want to do it Tuesday, that'd be great. We can.
Yeah, and I would say we've had probably 3 to 5 in last year, and you know, probably that many, you know, this year. So it's not like it's a huge abundant amount,
But with
But-
contractors, builders.
but it's, they're contract, pretty much.
For a living.
And it really shouldn't be starting the work. I guess that's what you have to decide is at what point do you want to charge the fee? Like, before they start the work, or like at what point do you want to say you should have had taken the
You're gonna have
permit
to
out?
discover that they didn't have a permit in the first place.
Right.
So it's gonna depend on when do you find that out.
Mhm.
And if they don't pay, and then if they don't pay for the permit, then they don't get a CO.
Correct. Finish.
Or when you see the roof going on. I mean, we had a property right over Red Roof that's owned by ECIA that we were like, oh, we're having lunch. Oh, do they have a permit? No, they don't. Oh, we need to get a permit. Call ECIA. You don't have a permit for this roof. But they had hired a contractor to do it.
So is Bob
So
the building
sometimes-
inspector,
So sometimes it's just finding it, driving around town, and
we don't
you
have
know.
time to get around.
then we just call Mike and say, hey, can you buzz by this property and see if they have a permit? Because we know they don't.
You
And
would
tell
be
them when they
amazed
need
by
one.
our phone tree, okay?
Oh, I am. It's just that I know you have other things to do, so.
Right.
So I guess with your permission, I'll just move forward with the fee resolution edition for Tuesday.
Yes. Council room rental. That's the quick discussion in the one thing. Stacy,
Recommend.
we believe in an informal setting, we discussed not to use the council room as a for, yes. We just feel it would destroy the time and effort that went in to make that the room that is turned.
Can I ask where that begins and ends, what is considered rental, what is not? What is a bride is getting married at the Piastre Community Center, can she use it? The Boy Scouts have always done it logistically, it's gonna be a nightmare for us, obviously, I'm assuming you don't want them to use it, because are those what you're speaking of, like?
Yes,
no
I
use?
think we're saying, and someone else jump in, I don't think we were looking to run it at all.
I'm just more along the lines, I don't want birthday parties and all that stuff in there. Like, I don't,
Like birthday parties, we
Cake
do
on the
rentals
carpet.
where they're,
yeah. Or,
it's more younger kids, right?
no,
The
for
Boy
stuff
Scouts-
gonna get broken.
Or the Boy Scouts
Are they
pay
doing-
that space,
Were they
They're-
their regular?
they are.
meetings? Are they doing?
But did
that's,
did they use the council chamber?
yeah,
Right now, they're meeting in the entry, or they meet in the,
Yeah, I mean, they're meeting everywhere, I mean, we've been trying to play, try to make do until, and then.
so do we leave?
Is their format
As
also a
it is?
meeting, or are they doing recreational stuff in there too?
I think the crafts.
Everybody's like Boy Scouts, it's more than just meetings, but for the most part, it's meetings.
Always certain doors gonna be unlockable, like to go to their office or the other offices.
They will not be allowed to go, yeah, they don't, the door will have to be able to get a trap. To use the restroom or something like that.
Yeah, there's two exit doors that go to the track. The one that is on the west side is only for emergency use only, and it'll be placarded that way. So in the event that they have to leave, they use the one on the east side. That's toward the end of, further away.
They will not be allowed to get out in the lobby of the city hall.
Yeah, you don't want anybody walking
No.
up City Hall, I would think. Going through. If there is. like that's it.
So how do we want to,
Collecting a lot of revenue on it.
Well, that's
I
not
mean-
that room. That's the large room downstairs as well. The conference room.
Thank you.
Birthday party, definitely.
It was.
Yeah,
we couldn't
Can we leave as is? Like what was there now is fine again, and which was only Boy Scouts?
no.
no,
No, their
Yeah,
birthday
birthday
parties.
Yeah. so
Anniversary
so
parties.
Boy Scouts,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I was gonna say, was it like to month that was, like I said, they are us, like Boy Scouts are under our umbrella, if you will. Yeah, I mean, we had everything in terms of, and I say everything, it's not even close to in comparison to, I would say, was definitely last resort, let's say, in terms of using it up there. I guarantee we'll have many requests, I guess, how do you want me to handle that? We have, I'll run the race, use it every year, we have, just certain things that kind of is us giving back type of deal. I mean, do I send them to City Hall? Do I just, case by case scenario? Like, I guess, how would you like me to deal with that then?
You got the wall, right? There's a wall going in there that's gonna separate the actual council.
There's a retractable wall.
Is that locked?
Mhm.
So then the only concern is like hardware and wood, right?
Yeah.
To me, the things that are more like meetings or professional use of the space or that kind of thing, I don't have a heartburn with that.
So, but Stacy's asking,
Yeah.
who's
To make
discretion?
that call.
So it's.
If she makes a decision and something happens, are we gonna close it against her?
So they sign contracts, right? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, anything that, yeah,
there's like some responsibility in this.
I think I'm okay with the rental of it just being the east side. And it not being birthday parties. We're like bride's room.
Heavy.
I'm okay with that.
so you're saying WD has teacher room service here for school every year, like, to me, yeah, I guess I just wanted to be clear, I don't-
Professional settings. that-
Correct, like, I guess-
Professional meeting room, I
Yeah.
think, but we defined that.
And the Boy Scouts are fine.
Boys and girls would be fine.
So basically no birthday parties, right? Is that what it is?
Basically,
No
fine.
birthday,
Protect the room.
no
so that-
cake,
No
no birthday
birthdays,
parties,
no anniversary,
Christmas party.
no Christmas parties,
no parties.
No food, no food, no kids.
No food, no drink.
no Mardi Gras.
And with that
Well,
kind
some of
of,
that stuff, you're gonna end up with during COVID.
You know, but
Boy Scouts are gonna bring in water or whatever.
I'm very, very.
I'm okay with Stacy using her discretion as long as she understands.
Bride's bringing in her truly
Protect the space and keep it. look
Yeah.
out.
self for mimosas.
oh, I mean.
You say, no, we don't do.
But obviously,
parties
we're
for 5 hours there.
But if we have a problem, we can just.
They'll make it stop.
They have no interest.
No birthdays.
The professional room,
Okay.
Okay.
I get it, I guess, just the one we were looking at.
Professional use.
Space, sure.
But,
We know you need the extra space.
yeah, it's not, I mean, it's not. Yeah, and it's, honestly, it's not super ideal anymore, the whole it's being shifted down. So it's in the track, like the door exits to the track, like I
Not a little point of
was worried from
Yeah.
the beginning, as soon as we said those doors swung out for egress, like, that was my first comment in the meeting was, what, like, that's literally, yeah, I mean, that's literally on Lake.
Runner.
So, I mean, if I'm being honest, it's not the first thing we're going to present, but when it comes to Boy Scouts where they have 4, 5, 6 dens. And we're struggling to accommodate, it's difficult as well,
Older.
so, yeah, and it can be, I mean.
What do they normally
Sometimes
need?
it can be, Tuesday nights and Sundays. So Sundays is the day, Sundays is the extremely hard, especially when I have tournaments, for other space. Because the meeting rooms full. Meeting, yeah, well, meeting room for
But I mean,
attendance is full.
I'm just looking at, you know, if the stages will be utilized and there's something going on.
We do that, we do kitchen, we do banquet, I mean,
Even that area that's off of like the bar area where the couches are, and they put that wall up there, that's a nice space too. You know, it's the hallway.
That's where they're meeting now, that's where all
Have a nice.
the spiders, wherever they call them. Having their little.
There's a lot of them haven't started meeting or have met at home to try to get through.
What-
So that's the,
Building.
yeah, I mean, that's the answer. I just want to make sure that I'm not telling them something.
Do they know that the library just runs too?
They use the library, they use literally, I mean, they use the fire station, they use,
Everything in town.
yeah. I mean,
It's good.
I guess, questions, I guess, if you get something you're not sure, you want to call on.
yeah, and like I said, it's not
And I
gonna be
don't-
my first go-to, the two I see, like I said, I know that the brides, for Friday and Saturday, both are looking for somewhere to get ready, to get changed. We have made no like guarantees because I assumed this conversation was coming. So I just want to clarify, have they be able to actually give an answer, like, yes. Could we do something downstairs? Yes. Is it ideal? No, we have a tournament, you have to walk with your bride, you know, your bride's dress through the tournament to get out, whatever. To me, that's not like super professional, we want to get off versus having on the same level, having the convenience of of someone who's paying thousands of dollars for their event. So I guess that's the stuff that I see. That's the point. Not a ton of opening goes in the court.
Do they get charged more if they run off that? Or is it-
No, I mean, to me, it's just like added. So, I mean, they get charged more if they get married
Ancillary
here.
space.
So technically, they get charged more, but yeah, not like specifically saying, were you using X? Y, Z?
You're only needing it if you're getting married.
Correct.
Charge Lexi more.
Correct.
Charge Lexi
He's
more?
not getting married here.
Wow.
Wow. So you're right. Yeah, get ready for the car.
All right.
I'll be here.
Consolidation.
Hmm.
All right, that's one too. Salvation Army, just wanted to, really not to thank Brian for stepping up and
Hey, no.
gonna do all the ringing, got the city council and.
Wow.
Yeah,
Can't find anybody that's like offered.
You know, Captain Dave requested and Brian said, I'd be willing to do it.
I sent that to you. I didn't send that to him.
I will be responding to him though, that I'll be involved. I will do it.
Thank you.
Right, yeah,
I don't remember seeing that.
oh, Captain Dave for the Salvation Army.
Yeah.
They're doing a kind of a, your city is the best challenge,
The city.
that the mayors and councils of each city do some bell ringing and who raises the most money. It
You bring the
didn't
baby.
include city staff, it just said council.
You're right.
Council
Council
and mayor, so I will respond that we will participate in whatever capacity
So we're gonna keep the.
and then get information
Yeah.
from him, how do we, yeah, I'm sure they already are gonna have, setups at fairways, setups at, the gas stations, so we'll just.
I didn't see it last year.
I don't remember that either. I remember the food pantry.
And not that we're gonna win anything, we could do it by per capita. And. Oh, yeah.
We do a social media blitz.
Do we have to dress up like Santa Claus or?
Yes.
The Grinch.
Oh.
Grinch, yeah. So.
I do have a Mrs. Claus,
I have a Santa.
if you would like to borrow that.
I can't do this.
I'm not either.
Then see, you're out.
You can be Ms.
Stay about.
Ms. Claus,
Ms.
Ms. Claus.
Ms. Claus.
Ms. Claus.
All right, so I will, just so everyone knows, I will respond, and when I get more information, then I will reach out to you to see who is interested in it. And that, thanks. December meetings, but we did not hold a second meeting in December, and I'm going to recommend we stick with that and not have a second meeting. Any opposed to that? Gary's already shared.
Here.
Check out.
That'd be December 26th.
So,
Right, for Christmas.
so
And
we
we're
will.
closed anyway.
Yeah.
We will suspend that, last meeting of the year. And at least development agreement.
I've been sharing this in my weekly updates with you. This is just one of those agreements kind of fell through the crack between Whitney, Doug, and myself. Sarah was kind of curious of where her agreement was, and I'm like, I don't know if I have one with you. So anyway, it's in the urban renewal amendment from 2020. We kind of scrambled real fast, had a conference call with Amy Bjork and Heidi Kuhl, and we put together a development agreement that will be on the agenda for Tuesday. And they're not going to get the full 15 years out of the TIF because we're already knee deep into this. So they'll end up with semi-annual payments of $20,037 in June and then one in December. So we wanted to scramble and hurry up and get it for the TIF certification because that's due December 1st. So they will receive their first payment next June. And this was a bit of an odd agreement because they don't own the building. Typically you take the valuation of the building to get the increment generated. And during that conference call, we decided that we would just use their lease amount. And that's perfectly legal to go ahead and rebate that back to them.
And now it won't be a full 15 years.
It will not.
Yeah.
And I mean, we could do something like we did with Dollar General, take it out and then put it back in, but it's just, it wouldn't cash flow. super great people to work with, you guys.
Yeah.
Would she be okay with this?
She has not seen it yet. I had a hard time getting the lease amount from her, so, but I'd be more than happy to meet with her or Jason. Since I can just walk right across the street and.
Yeah.
While the street's closed.
Right, I
That's
know,
why we have it closed, so you can get to Ames Hardware a lot easier.
right?
Yeah, that's what I've been telling
Should we go to town?
While we were in the.
There are.
While we were in the-
you.
Yeah, just do it.
And I do have one more thing to add.
I was just gonna comment that like time is of the essence on that because of the 14th meeting, on the 14th, we have to set a public hearing and then hold the public hearing on the 28th and approve the development agreement on the 28th in order for me to certify them for TIF by December 1st for them to get paid this year. So
I want to do that.
just
She's
so,
lost 2 years.
so if there are questions, you know, we'll want to get those addressed and changed before the
Well,
public
that's
hearing.
hard. I mean, gosh, you know, if I would have missed the first year, I would have been saying, where's my money?
Exactly.
The one thing I'd like to add is the SRF monies that we had, where we talked about doing a project behind Thunder Valley. Obviously, we're not gonna go that route, but I was thinking about, other projects that we could probably try to use this 553,000 on. And, looking at the PCC project and the parking lots, I just don't think 650,000 is gonna cut it for both parking lots. So, this is a storm quality project if we put permeable pavers in part of the parking lot. So, you know, it's probably gonna be closer to the building, it's just the way the water gravitates, but Jake Deaver thinks that this is something that is eligible. I talked to Ginger at the state level. She thinks that it will be eligible as well. There has to be some kind of design, obviously, and engineering to be done and submitted to the state, to the DNR. And Jake said it would be approximately $2,000 to $3,000. So is that something you would like him to go ahead, put together and get submitted?
I know the permeable favors and put on Swiss Valley, at that nature center. They constantly get clogged.
Again, I'm just trying to look for ways to use that money.
Whether it's a use it or lose it.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's some other way. we can-
Are there other options besides permeable pavers that they could do that?
Not in a parking lot.
I'd rather not see that there because long term you're gonna end up having to rip it up. And there's gonna be a lot to it underneath. You get that there somehow, water.
Yeah, and I think too that the issues that we've been having with the soils. You know, when they were digging for the columns, yeah. Anyway, food for thought.
Table it now that we won't ask him.
No, we won't table it. We'll just,
Not take any.
it's not
action.
even real, no
It's not really
action.
actionable, but yeah.
It's
we
not
will-
even really
We will
on-
not ask him to do the engineering.
I need to let him know that, yeah, not at this time, we're not
Yeah,
interested.
yeah, that's what we're.
Okay,
Trail, something.
And we're trying to see if there's other things.
They got to be back parking lot, backside of the ball field or something, the other side. You don't have waterway.
Problem with that is none of it's on land.
Oh, it's
Like schools and then NICC.
So are the outfield mosquitoes actually in WP's? On the WP's land?
of course it is.
And I see the crowd this year. And there. Yeah.
Thank you, it is. Okay.
With the trail aspect.
For that,
Most likely.
Our pond.
how did it work with trails around? I mean, I guess I'm not sure how it was stated or how you could incorporate it. A trail there. Utilize it.
Has to be water.
It has to be a water quality.
Water drainage, water quality kind of thing.
And we. I think
Can
we
you
talked
put that
about-
pipe to dredge mostly?
You're not doing anything to, yeah,
Take more runoff.
right, you're not giving any, what am I looking for? Enhancement to the water. You're just making it deeper, cleaning it out. So it would have to be think that would be, I could ask. But, and in fact, I think I did initially ask about that when we were looking for projects to try to take full advantage of that $600,000 and
Kelly Oaks.
I guess there's nothing in Kelly Oaks that is not qualified
no,
for the trail coming out of County.
no,
Trail from.
it's gotta be water quality runoff.
Yeah, permeable pavers up in Kelly Oaks, something that doesn't have cars parking. It's gonna be- Right, the soil vehicles is what we want to have.
No.
So if you did like around a million or something like that, maybe.
I could check into it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but
You'd have to have a pavilion first.
Yeah, that's a million.
but I'll look into that.
It was a sliver.
Yeah, all of
Anything else anyone wants to talk about?
Jerry, this is kind of sad. It's your last work session.
He wasn't sad, I mean.
Like, you're proceeding out so much.
You don't do it.
We are not.
Yeah.
It's his birthday. He's-
Whenever excuses.
He's
he
declaring
got,
a merry holiday.
That's his day that he cleans his tennis shoes, that's,
Oh,
he tries on his new fly. All right, meeting adjourned.